Ariel Helwani at the UFC headquarters here in Las Vegas alongside Conor McGregor's nutritionist, the one and only George Lockhart, who we spoke to a month ago in Los Angeles at the beginning of this journey. Wanted to catch up with you a couple of weeks out from the big fight against Floyd Mayweather. How's the camp going as far as you're concerned?
This is the best camp I've ever seen. I say this, I'm so excited because he's going to win this thing. Like, he really is. He's going to win this thing. I'm so excited to be a part of it, and everything's going perfect in terms of the weight cut and the weight loss.
Any surprises, anything that you didn't expect when we spoke a month ago?
Yeah, the surprise is that there hasn't been any surprises. There's always you have a game plan, but there's always kind of a hiccup that you have to overcome stuff, and everything's just gone perfectly. It's almost scary how perfect things are.
Hopefully it remains that way. Yesterday at Floyd Mayweather's media day, he said that he's been keeping tabs on Conor, and he believes he's around 160 pounds right now. Is that accurate?
I can't tell you that, but man, all I'm saying is he's right on point, man. He's his cut is going to be easy day for him. He's done everything he needs to. I've been with him for the last 9 weeks. I was in Ireland for 3 weeks before the actual the World Tour, so we've been monitoring everything, and he's just, man, everything's smooth.
At this point, are you sick of the guy?
No, but I'm sure he's sick of my food. Like, in the beginning, it's like, oh, this is really good. After a while, it's like, man, I want something. He actually got to go out the other night and actually have a meal cooked from somebody other than myself. So it was a good time, kind of give him a breather from me. And I'm not sick of him yet, man. It's a different lifestyle. I love it, man.
What is Conor's go-to meal? Like, what's his favorite thing that you make for him?
I've never actually asked him, but every single time I serve him lamb, like, man, he smiles. He's like, man, thank God, So I think lamb with chimichurri sauce is like his number one thing that I cook.
And you don't ask him in advance? You decide what he's going to eat?
Yeah, each day is different. Like, a lot of times I don't even know. When he wakes up in the morning, depending on his weight, depending on the activity that they're doing, the type of workout that he's doing, I'll go out. So I go grocery shopping before every single meal. Wow. So I'll grocery shop, and then I cook it right before.
Before every meal? So you're going 3 times a day?
Dude,
at least?
At least, yeah. I'm there like 4 or 5 times. The people at Sprouts, Whole Foods, and Albertsons are like, bro, like, you're always in here. Yeah, man, I'm friends with everybody there now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What a trip. And what's the reason behind that? Why do you have to go before every meal as opposed to once a day?
Right. So a lot of times, like, you don't want to have a whole bunch of food that's sitting there and days on end. So I want everything to be as fresh as possible, get everything straight from the source, cook it right there and then. And like I said, if I don't know what he's going to have the next day, and I buy a bunch of chicken, or if I buy a bunch of whatever, chances are it's going to go bad. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the best of the best. And this is one of those rare instances, like people are like, well, man, that's kind of going overboard. But at a fight like this, you want everything to be perfect.
One thing that really stood out, at least for me, when we spoke a month ago, was you comparing MMA weight cutting to boxing weight cutting. And you said, if I remember correctly, that he won't cut a tremendous amount of weight, that he's going to sort of train at the weight that they'll be fighting at, 154, in that vicinity, and he won't gain too much weight come fight night. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that's definitely what we want. You don't want to have a difficult weight cut because, like I said before, weight isn't as much of an advantage in boxing as it is in MMA. I mean, granted, if you have a couple extra pounds, that's great. But if you have to go through a weight cut and worry about the reload and everything else, it's just not the risk and the reward aren't there. So we got his weight down. We're keeping his weight down, and it'll be just like I said before.
In MMA, we have the early weigh-ins now. Would you like to see boxing do that as well, or is it not necessary?
So I don't work with a lot of boxers, but I really think that it is. Honestly, I'm going to get a lot of slack for this, but I don't think a lot of boxers cut. You know what I mean? So I don't think it is as vital. Like if MMA guys cut a ridiculous amount of weight. We worked with Drew Dober. You heard about that story. He was 186 that Tuesday and weighed in at 155 on Friday.
Wow.
I don't think you have any boxers that are doing that. You know what I mean? So that reload, that amount of time is extremely important. If they did give that time, I think it'd be beneficial. But is it needed? I don't think so.
Why do you think that is? Why aren't boxers cutting that much the week up?
Like I said before, I think that they know that. They're like, there's not a huge advantage if I cut 15, 20 pounds. If I come in 15, 20 pounds, a lot of times it'll slow you down if you put too much weight, back on. So, I think that they do that, they know that, and that's why that is the way it is.
Now, Floyd says he's keeping tabs on you. Are you keeping tabs on him?
Floyd's keeping tabs on me.
Well, I mean,
I was like, well, hell yeah, you know. Man, honestly, I always stick in my lane. You know, 9 times out of 10.
you're not looking at him and he's looking a little big.
So last night,
Be honest.
Connor talked about the pre-workout stuff like that, and I didn't know that Floyd's was yesterday.
Yeah.
So last night when I was cooking, I pulled it up. I was like, all right, let's see what this. Man, I'm telling you, like. You know, it's one of those things. Like I get insight because I work with so many camps. You know, you see the mentality. So many people, like a lot of guys. A lot of times I get guys that fight each other, and it's almost like I can predict by the aura, the camp, the individual's mindset. And I've just never seen anybody like this guy is going into the biggest fight in history, and you think it was an amateur fight that he was going in. Like, you know what I mean? He's so confident and ready for this thing.
So what did you make of Floyd's physique? What did you see there?
You know, non-biased. He's a little guy. Like what Conor says, you know, he's not lying. Like he's a really small guy. That build, that reach is such a huge advantage for Conor. The style and everything else, and with the physique that dude, Floyd's he's in great shape. The guy, he's a workhorse. The guy's an animal. You know what I mean? He's 49-0 for a freaking reason. But in terms of if I was looking on the outside, being non-biased, dude, he's a little guy. Okay.
What's for dinner tonight, by the way?
I don't know.
You don't know yet?
Yeah. Depending, like I said, every time he weighs himself, checks the scale, and then I look at his performance. Sometimes he's like, hey George, I kind of felt like the last 2 rounds. I'll watch the rounds. Like the last 2 rounds kind of faded off, or this or that. We'll increase certain things, decrease certain things. Right now, weight is more like performance isn't going to increase a whole lot the last couple of weeks. So we start changing the goals up just a little bit. So,
last thing, was it a knockdown or a push?
Man, I don't say nothing. I stay in my lane. I'll tell you what sometimes when I cook, but that's about it, man.
Yeah. But it's been fun for you to be a part of this. I can't imagine, right?
Bro, it's been an absolute blast. I mean, literally flying on private jets, waiting on like Rolls Royce, sitting on the tarmac. I mean, it's crazy. They talk to Mac Life. It's a real thing, man. It's nuts.
Long ways from hanging out with Brian Stan overseas, right?
Those are good times, too. I don't really like Brian, but it was a good time overseas.
Great to see you. Best of luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate it, boss.